Corruption and its impact on democracy and good governance. In Africa, corruption remains one of the greatest obstacles to the development of democracy and good governance in Africa. While the continent has made strides in democratic reforms since the early 1990s, corruption continues to erode institutions, weaken public trust, and stall progress toward accountable governance. Firstly, corruption undermines electoral democracy. In many African states, elections are tainted by vote buying, manipulation of voter registers, and the misuse of state resources by incumbents. Nigeria, for example, has witnessed widespread vote rigging and financial inducements during elections, weakening the legitimacy of elected leaders. When citizens lose faith in the fairness of the electoral process, democratic participation declines, and authoritarian tendencies are strengthened. Secondly, corruption distorts public institutions and service delivery. Funds meant for healthcare, education, and infrastructure are often diverted into private pockets, leaving citizens disillusioned with governments that fail to meet their basic needs. This mismanagement reinforces cycles of poverty and inequality, which in turn fuel political instability. The embezzlement of oil revenues in countries like Angola and Nigeria illustrates how corruption deprives citizens of the benefits of natural wealth. Thirdly, corruption promotes authoritarianism and weakens accountability. Leaders use state resources to entrench themselves in power, reward loyalists, and suppress opposition. In countries such as Zimbabwe and Uganda, corruption has become a political tool for maintaining patronage networks, rather than strengthening institutions that safeguard democracy. Finally, corruption hinders regional and international credibility. Investors often avoid states with weak governance and high corruption levels, limiting economic growth that could otherwise support democratic consolidation. Moreover, weak governance fueled by corruption makes states more vulnerable to conflict, as seen in Nigeria, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and in many other African countries. In conclusion, corruption is not just a financial crime in Africa, it is a political cancer that undermines democracy, weakens governance, and stifles development. For democracy to flourish, African nations must strengthen institutions, ensure transparency, and empower citizens to hold leaders accountable. Without tackling corruption, democracy and good governance will remain promises unfulfilled. How do you view corruption and its impact on your country's democratic journey? Join the conversation and stay informed. Follow @DIASPOINT for real-time updates, breaking stories, and uncompromising insights on the forces shaping Africa. DIASPOINT, Voices of Africa's Diaspora, powering change.